You're listening to 1680 WOKB AM, Winter Garden, Florida.
This is your host, Jay Real from Real Family Talk. We are here live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is Hump Day. Listen to the show and enjoy your Wednesday night.
Gospel 1680 WOKB, your urban empowerment and inspiration station.
We are the pulse. Without a pulse, you're dead.
We are the heart and soul of the community. Gospel 1680 AM.
Welcome to another edition of Real Family Talk. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday evening. It's another beautiful day in the city, beautiful. So as always, I'm having a great time, man. We want to thank you for tuning in tonight. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody in the building. Miss McCrae's here. How you doing, Miss McCrae?
Each day gets better.
That's what I'm talking about. Better, better, and better. And sitting in tonight with us, we have Chris Shaw. How you doing, Chris?
It's all good. I can't call it one bit at all.
That's what I'm
She
talking
got her
about.
slogan. I'm gonna create one right now.
There you go.
That's how you do it, man.
Miss
On the
McCrae.
spot. On the spot. So let's we can go ahead and jump in, man. We're gonna talk some news stories. The first thing I wanted to do, though, last week we talked about the fact that Hillary Clinton got into the race for president finally. She at least finally made it official. We all knew it was coming. And we also talked about Marco Rubio making it official that he was going to run. And Miss McCrae was not here last week. And I just had to at least hear her acknowledge how excited she was that her...
Really?
I'm not going to say she's her mentor or anything like that, Miss McCrae. I'm just going to say...
Woohoo, Hillary!
that I know you're a fan, Miss McCrae.
Look, it's not, she does not guarantee my vote. She has not guaranteed my vote. But I am excited that she went ahead and announced. And from the looks of it, the race as of now, yeah, I would vote for her.
Okay. So you're saying Rubio couldn't get your vote? Is that what you're saying?
His own people don't like him.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, so no.
He's kind of got some that do, some that don't.
Yeah.
There's some that like him and some
The
that
other
don't.
Republicans that are just like him. But his people don't like him.
You can't like everybody, right?
Uh-huh.
Can't like everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna like you, right?
That force of Latino power is not behind him.
That's a major power now.
Major.
Power.
Major.
And if you lacking with your own political people, not even so much as your own people, you kind of got an issue there.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I think it's also somewhat of a long shot for him to win too. So, it was Jason Henry had talked to us last week, and one of the things he commented on was the fact that he thought he was basically angling to become vice president more than anything, because from all indications, it seems like the pathway or the red carpet is being laid out for Jeb Bush to win the Republican nomination. And so,
Well, it's over with and done now. Did I say that out loud?
it looks like it's going to be a Bush-Clinton battle is what it looks like. But the red carpet is being laid out for him right now.
History repeats itself.
Oh, unfortunately.
Did he officially announce yet?
No, he has not officially announced.
But he's
it.
just gearing up. He has
He's doing everything he needs to do
Yeah.
in order to prepare to become a candidate, but he has not officially become a candidate
He
yet.
called Daddy and had Daddy to call all his people that he know to clear his slate.
Pretty
Exactly.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Get the
Y'all
check.
forgive me, Lord.
Get the
Lord.
checkbooks out. His brother called some people too, I'm sure. You know.
much. All
yeah.
of them.
Don't forget, his brother probably called some people too.
Oh.
Hey, Jeb, we
okay.
got you covered this time around, baby boy.
We got you covered.
We
Don't
got
worry.
you.
So the carpet is being laid out. So that's what it's looking like. But there's some that like I said, Jason Henry was commenting that that Jeb Bush is he was Marco Rubio's mentor, and so maybe the carpet's being laid so that He gets out there, as they say, usually these kind of moves are power moves anyway. So he gets out there, gets his name out there. He loses, but then Jeb Bush brings him along to become vice president, which now opens the door for him to now run for president, assuming that ticket wins, of course. It's not a good look if you lose. Just ask Paul Ryan. It's not a good look. They love him, but nobody's even talking about that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yes, I know you're a big Hillary fan, Miss McCrae, and I can't imagine who else could even run that would convince you
Miss
to
McCrae,
vote.
really? I did not know that.
Don't do that.
know
Don't let J. Real
I mean, I'm not mad at you for the woman power.
get you caught up. But yes, out of the race, the people who are running, yes. I am interested in learning more about Hillary and her platform.
Can I ask you an honest question, though?
Yes.
What is it that you think you're going to learn?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
That's one thing. Like, what are we going to learn? What is it about her that we don't know that she's going to tell us this time that we already did know?
Well, look now.
Because let's be, do her policies really matter?
Did any of them? The more and more I learn about politics, does any of it matter?
It matters.
The stuff
in
that they
principle.
say and the stuff they do are two different things.
It matters in
Totally
principle.
different thing.
Usually it's two different things. I think Barack Obama has been pretty consistent, generally speaking.
Generally.
The things that, at least let's say from my perspective, the things that I was concerned he would do, he has done. So from that perspective, I mean, I certainly there's a lot of things that you wish he would have done that he has not done. But I think the things that I thought he might do, I think he has done. So,
well, coming from the Hillary Clinton point of view, one thing I do know and that I do like about her is she is committed. When you think about 1992, 1993, and everything that went on between her and her husband and Monica Lewinsky and all that, she stuck by her man.
she's ride or die.
Right. So she is committed. So I mean that I commend her on. She didn't just up and bounce. She stuck around and said, "Man, this too shall pass. We've been in this battle for a long time, and we're gonna stay in this battle." So
In that respect, she reminds me of, and this is a TV reference,
Who?
Melly from Scandal.
Well, yeah.
I mean, obviously she hasn't had the battle with depression and all that kind of stuff
That we know of.
but that we know of. That is correct. But as far as being that just ride or die, because at the end of the day, it's not about where I am, it's about where I'm going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her, the character Melly anyway reminds me a lot of Hillary Clinton, if you will.
I'm
Because
sure.
she takes it all in, and that's okay.
Yeah. This was planned.
This is where I'm trying to go. And so I need to stick around so I can get to where I need to be. And you need to handle your business and stop being so messy. But okay, we're gonna ride with this thing.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting. There's another actual woman out here getting into the race coming up in a couple of weeks. They said she's gonna announce May 4th. She's on the Republican side though, Miss McCrae. So
Okay.
you won't like her.
I think
You won't like her, Miss McCrae,
no.
but it will be a woman.
And you know what? I saw that maybe about a week ago.
Yeah,
about her coming in. Yeah, I
Carly Fiorina.
That's
or-
it. Something like that.
She was the former CEO of Hewlett Packard. Fiorina. That's how you say it. Carly Fiorina. She was the former CEO of Hewlett Packard. And so she's going to get into the race. But like I said, she's going to be a Republican, Miss McCrae. So she's going to be misguided and confused.
Pretty much. I'm glad you said it for me. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just saying what I know you're thinking, Miss McCrae.
I mean,
Wow.
he knows me so well when it comes to his party people.
See, it's not all about girl power. You have to be on the right side, Chris Shaw.
Is that what it is?
If you're not a Democrat, even
Listen.
if you're a woman, you are still
All
on the wrong
women,
side.
women are beautiful. They're great, girl power. But if you are a crazy woman,
No power.
then you still
Note based on singularly the fact that you're a Republican makes you crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have no idea. She is not even concerned about the politics of this woman.
Because if
She
she uses any of the talking points that the current Republicans use, then yes, she is indeed crazy.
She tripping.
Tripping. Straight up. And if
Hard.
she leans more towards the Tea Party Republican, oh well then she's bat.
Yeah.
Bat.
Bad.
I can't say the rest.
Bad.
Yeah.
Just leave it like
Just
that.
leave it like that.
Oh man,
She's insane.
See,
Bless her heart.
I know how you think. Mr.
More
Kirk.
power to her though. They're loading up that side though. I mean, how many are gonna try to do this?
I don't know, man. What are we at? 1, 2, 3. I think we're at 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
And then this woman is supposed to be getting in, and we expect Jeb Bush to get in.
So
and,
that's 5.
I believe they're still thinking Scott Walker, the governor in Wisconsin, is going to get in. So
Yeah.
So there's going to be. But, I think that's a good thing. I think that's the one drawback this year, or at least so far from what we see on the Democratic side. It seems so one-sided, It just seems like this is Hillary's opportunity. And, yes, there are going to be people who get into the race, but none of them really seem to have an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we need to get somebody else in there so that she's not out there by herself on the stage when we do the debate. But, we're not going to really vote for y'all. What was that movie that they had? And I think it was a Chris Rock movie, I believe, where they basically wanted him to get in the race. They knew he wasn't going to win, but they needed another man. Yeah, thank you. They needed somebody else to get into the race so that he wasn't just a one-sided race. I think that's what I feel like is happening.
That movie was so
on the
funny.
Democratic side
The
right
president, God bless the United States and nobody else. And he would say that over and over and over again. Like this is hilarious.
I got a secret to tell. My junior year in college, we had a speaking class that we had to go to, and to tell you the truth, my roommate and I at the time, we took that speech, the Chris Rock
From
speech
the movie?
From the movie.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
And that was your speech?
And the professor didn't even know.
Didn't even know. Did not even know.
Oh my God.
I bet the rest of the class was in there like, these fools
Right.
crazy.
They were like, why does
Are
that
they really
sound
just quoting the
familiar?
State of the Union of the class?
Wow.
That was a good
hilarious.
class that day. I
But
bet.
it was all about speech, speaking properly and speaking in public, and so it was a great class, and it was a great exercise for us to use. So we did very well because the way we sounded and the projection of our voices, how it came out. And good thing he went first and I went last.
Okay.
I just remembered as we were sitting here talking, there is one candidate that just got in on Monday as well. He could pose a challenge for some people. Do you know what I'm talking about, Miss McCray? Chris Shaw, you know who I'm talking about, who got in on Monday, man?
No, I didn't see anything this week.
Waka Flocka, man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You know what?
Waka
I just
Flocka.
thought about that too. Because I was just going to say something until the speech came. I was just going to tell you about that. This Joker, Miss McCray, you didn't hear this?
No.
You didn't hear this?
You didn't hear this, Joker?
Waka Flocka filled out the paperwork
You
to be
are
able to
lying
run for president. They
to
taped he taped
me.
the YouTube video with Rolling Stone, with the Rolling Stone as he was signing the paperwork to officially put his
Nope.
name into the hat.
As he was lighting up.
As he was lighting up.
Shut up.
Yes. He actually what he did is he filled out the paperwork, signed his name, and then the next thing he did was light up.
That's right.
Literally. And then after that, he went on to talk about some of his
political views.
his political views. I don't remember everything he said, but the one thing that his top priority, of course, was to legalize marijuana.
That was the top one.
That was his top priority. And then to make it even funnier, he called his potential VP, DJ Who Kid, who also agreed the top priority on the campaign should be the legalization of marijuana.
The other one was he is required that all high school students know his lyrics.
Okay.
Yes.
Know his lyrics.
I'm done with the story.
Yes.
And if they don't know the
I'm over
lyrics, they go back to the third grade.
Yes, they go back.
They
to the
didn't
third grade.
say repeat the 12. He said go back to the third grade.
Because Waka Flocka is a poet.
But he really
McCray.
wasted their time by filling out the application.
He didn't waste their time. It was obviously planned. I'm sure it was a paid advertisement for that matter.
He's on a mission.
It was on, it was one of the lead stories on Monday.
I can't.
Yeah, he's
Was
on
Waka
a mission.
Flocka officially? Because this all started actually, apparently back in 2012. He had made a comment about, I think it was 2012, but it was a few years ago. He made a comment about when 2016 came, he was going to be running for president. So he's actually fulfilling I don't want to say a prophecy.
Candidate.
He's fulfilling a word that he said a few years ago. He said he was going to do it. Here we are. He's done it.
Now, this is why he won't get my vote, because he made another statement saying that anyone who wears a size 13 shoe or larger will not be able to walk in public anymore.
That's right.
Because he doesn't want to see their feet being taking up all the space on the concrete.
Right.
I wear 13 and a half.
You need, what did he say? You need to take a train or a taxi or something?
I wear 13 and a half, player.
Talking
Right.
about
As big as he is, I bet you he wears
Right.
at
How
least
you gonna trip?
Because I believe he's at least 6'2" or something.
So
like
his
that.
feet gotta be bigger than
It's
mine.
got to be.
Was he like cracking up while he was saying all this stuff?
I mean, he was in a very jovial mood. He was
He was-
lighting.
he was
He
floating.
lit.
He was smooth sailing all the way across.
He was in a great mood.
And
So-
the reporters were actually there.
Yeah, because
They never showed the reporter specifically, but I mean, obviously, yeah, they were there. It was the Rolling Stone, the magazine.
come on, we're
It's
talking
on
about
their official
Listen,
YouTube page.
Rolling
It's
Stone.
the lead story. It was
Listen.
the lead story
I'ma
that they
say it
had on their website.
Rolling Stone has lost their credibility.
Rolling Stone, because this joker is rolling
Right.
and stoned out at the same time, talking about a presidential election. Are you serious, dude?
It's gone. Their credibility.
They're shot for you.
They're done.
You'll never read a Rolling Stone
I
article
mean,
again.
not because of this, but from the article about the University of Virginia, and then putting the Boston Bomber on the front cover.
Yeah.
Like Rolling
Yeah.
Stone, really?
But that's the purpose of Rolling Stone. They are different. They're not like everybody else.
A
you
hot
go.
mess is what they've become. And that rape story alone has set
Yes.
back
Oh.
victims. We're back to the Stone Ages
Yeah.
when it comes to rape allegations and all that stuff. Because
So-
somebody didn't fact check.
So there it is, man. Waka Flocka
Yeah, I
Running
forgot
for
about
president.
Waka Waka.
Nope.
officially.
And I can't even get his
No.
name
It's
right
done.
sometimes.
Nope.
It's gonna
I'm
be.
just-
He might be on your ballot near you too. Ms.
No.
McCray.
No.
I will move.
If not, you can always write him.
I
in.
am
It's
leaving.
okay.
I am leaving the country.
And you know what? So if he ends up on the ballot, some fool,
I know. Listen.
a whole bunch of them,
Thank you.
will actually.
Not some.
That's how Arnold Schwarzenegger got in the office. I truly believe people were like, what if the Terminator was the governor? And then that Joker won
And that's,
because a whole bunch of people thought they was funny. They're like, let me just vote for this guy.
I'll be back.
And now he was the dang on governor. And Waka, no, I can't. Nope. No. Is he even qualified?
I think.
What is qualified?
I don't know.
No, I don't even think he's 35 yet, is he?
Oh.
You as a
So
president,
he can't even age in.
Right. You have there are limits. You have to be at least 35. At least the bare minimum is 35 years of age and a United States citizen born.
Okay, so this is all
So I don't even know. Well,
null and void.
ain't
I
no
don't
telling
think
what
he's
planet
35.
he's from.
though.
I don't know.
I don't think he's 35.
I don't know. I don't know how old he is. He probably is 35. Most of these rappers about 40 by now anyway.
Nah, he ain't up there. He ain't no old school. He ain't up there.
I think he's a young cat. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up.
We'll see.
Waka Flocka.
Wait. Say it again.
Waka Flocka. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
And you know what though? The one good thing he has going for him, Miss McCray.
What's that?
You know he's probably a Democrat, right?
Which makes it even worse. 'Cause he's a clown.
Oh boy, that's the.
There's a song that say tragedies are commonplace.
Good times. Good times, man.
Waka Flocka.
Gotta support the man. He's got at least one vote, I'm sure.
No, he probably got a handful of votes from 12 to 22.
Them
Bet you they-
ATLians.
But if they counted, he'd probably get it in no less than 500.
He was born in 86, so he's only 28.
Okay.
He'll be 29 on May 31st.
Okay. So he's not quite 35.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
So we'll let that go.
Waka Flocka. That is hilarious. This dude. I'm telling you, if you just go watch the video, though, Miss McCray.
You will crack up.
The video is a good laugh.
It is.
It is a good laugh.
No,
It truly is.
It is
I
a good
don't
laugh.
want any parts of it.
All right, man. We'll keep it moving, man. We got more tragedy in the world. The only good thing I'll say about this story and other stories like it is at least we're talking about these things now. What I'm referencing is we've had another, and I guess we can call it, I guess they call it accidental killing of a black man. Is that what they're referring to it these days?
Yes.
Up in Baltimore, a young man who they say did not pose any challenge as far as in his arrest. When they arrested him, he gave up without the use of force when they arrested him, but somehow he ended up getting his neck broken and then also eventually dying at the hands of the police, or at least in police custody at some point, somehow. Apparently nobody really understands how he got from him volunteering him giving himself up without force, but a neck broken and death.
Wow.
Nobody can answer those questions, but
No.
that's where we are. And so that's why I say the only good thing about these types of stories is at least we're talking about them now. Before, they were going on and they were just being swept under the rug. Major news did not cover it. You probably got some coverage locally for wherever it happened, but now it seems like every story that happens goes national. And the only good thing I can see about that is now it's putting in front of people just how often or how too often we hear about these stories, not that it's commonplace, not that every officer is out there doing it, but when, the one thing they tell us all the time is, black people are just being too sensitive. Oh, they're making too much out of anything, but now after you get story after story, it seems like every week there's at least one. It's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's something to this thing.
It's got to be something, because almost like if it's not every week, it's every other week or every 2 weeks, you're hearing something. I got a chance to see a video from some citizen that was out and about, and they saw the whole thing. And when they picked up Freddie Gray, he didn't look right when they picked him up. First off, so something right there clicked to me, saying, okay, something ain't right. The way you had two officers to picking up a young man, 25 years old, probably about $145 at the most, maybe, from the looks of him. But he just looked like he was dangling all over, from the head, from his legs. Don't look like he had any support in the body. He had life and was breathing, but you know how when you hurt yourself, you just lingering, you just prostrate. You're not even doing much, and that's just the way the video looked. And they just picked him up and they just kind of dragged him into the police van. Now, what happened inside the police van? Nobody seems to know. There are no answers. There are no questions, because he did go to the hospital that Sunday, and a week later he passed away. Mysteriously, he died from spinal injury.
It's just crazy, man.
Wow.
Crazy. And like I said, they say he gave up without force. So how do we get there? How do we get there? Crazy. They did say he was carrying, according to this article I'm reading, it says Gray was carrying a pocket knife of legal size. So I guess he did have some type of weapon on him, but even still.
Right.
But then, too, it goes back to the point that I've always, when you encounter with police officers, anybody in law enforcement, if you did nothing wrong, and you did nothing wrong, hear me, I'm going to say it one more again, you did nothing wrong, then you have no reason to be hostile. And I tell a lot of young people all the time, the very point that you make, the very first word or the way you speak coming out of your mouth when you talk to law enforcement determines the way the situation is going to turn, whether it's going to go left field or right field. If you come at me, sir, good evening, sir, how you doing? Man, why you pull me over, man? I ain't even did nothing. You know, what you stopping me for? Okay, he already feel threatened. But when you, good evening, sir. Do you know why I pulled you over? No, sir. How you doing this evening? Yeah, I have no weapons. I have a box cutter because of my job required me to have a box cutter, or I don't carry guns, or I have a gun in the glove compartment. I have a permit. I'm gonna reach you see both my hands. I mean, you communicate yourself to be on the safe side. I'm just saying, you communicate yourself just to be on the safe side, because if you don't communicate yourself, one false move, it could cost you the rest of your life. It could cost you it could cost you anything. And that's a shame that we have to live life like that today. But this is nothing new. It's been going around for even when I was growing up. I've been stopped several times growing up as a young jitterbug, and I just learn how to get away and don't get caught again. We do what we had to do.
That's why he was running so fast, right?
Yeah.
So
and see, but is that, and then if you just run. And people run from the cops all the time. Not to say that that's what you're supposed to do. You probably shouldn't. But if you do, that still does not give the police officer the right to kill.
At all.
Like, if we are just going to kill criminals, if you make a mistake, if you have a bad parking tickets or child support, criminals, period, then let's get rid of attorneys. Let's get rid of judges. Let's get rid of the whole justice system if we're just going to kill people. Mm-hmm. If that's what we're resulting to, because that's what it seems like to me. There's no trying to stop, arrest, go through the process. And you know what? If we start targeting the people who own these prisons and say, hey, you losing money. As these cops keep killing these men who you think are going to come into your system anyway, you're losing money. And when they feel like they're going to be losing money, that's when they will make a change. When money comes into play, that's the only change.
That'd be sad if you had to go to prisons to leverage the idea that because these cops are shooting them, you aren't getting the whatever few $1,000s that the government would pay you to have them in your prison.
I guarantee.
To get changed, that would be crazy.
I guarantee there's a lobbyist for those companies talking to somebody like, hey. Not right now, but if this continues and escalates and really the numbers, because I think they said last year the cops killed, so far this year it's almost 400 people that the cops have killed.
Say what?
Almost 400 people that the cops have killed.
400.
I need to find the article.
400 people.
It was like 360 something. So it's on its way to almost 400 people so far. And so it's like, okay, I guarantee those owners of those prisons are like, well, wait a minute now. Hold on. Hold on.
But that's 400 people, not necessarily blacks. We're just talking about people.
Right.
407-894-1680. 407-894-1680 is the number. We'd love to hear from you. We're talking about Freddie Gray, the gentleman that was somehow killed by cops up in Baltimore. The details at this point are still very murky. They say they're doing an investigation which they expect to end around May 1st, and they hope to be able to give us more of a picture of how we got from to death. But that's what we're talking about. Freddie Gray. Yes, sir.
Hey, I got an article I'm going to play just so you can hear the audio as to what's taking place recently in the Baltimore area.
Amid tears and cries for justice, demonstrators poured into the streets of Baltimore for a second day, carrying signs emblazoned with the name of the man who died from a spinal injury he suffered while in police custody. They're protesting the death of Freddie Gray. Meantime, Baltimore Fraternal Order of Police President Gene Ryan is backpedaling after he likened the crowd protesting the death to a lynch mob.
Maybe I should reword that. I don't want it to turn into a lynch mob, because when you're trying to put somebody in jail before all the facts are in, the investigation hasn't been completed, that's wrong.
Gene Ryan. Protests are expected in that area all week long. I'm Vicki Cohill for AURN.com.
All righty, that's just a piece of what's taking place in the Baltimore area. that's going on about the situation with Freddie Gray, and I'm kind of liking the mere fact though that they're not just sitting back waiting; they're actually pushing. The same reason in South Carolina with the police officer who shot the man 8 times in the back. The mayor stepped up and said, okay, this is unlawful. This is not righteous. We need to see what the problem is. So now, the same way in Baltimore, you had, I think in the video, it was like 8 police officers there. I'm not saying, it was more than 3 that I saw in the video. So, I want to know what's everybody taking, what's everybody report. I want to know what happened what happened at the walk up, what happened in the midst of the walk up, the handcuffed, because this is all the stuff that's privileged and need to be known.
Right.
Yeah.
I know they say 6 officers have been suspended as a result of the investigation so far. So, like I said, it's just sad. I'm just glad. The only positive, if you will, is that we're talking about it. They're still talking about it. I was shocked the other day. I caught news of the story on Monday because CNN was doing a live feed of the press conference but I believe he was the Baltimore police chief, I believe who that gentleman was, but he was doing they were doing a live feed of his press conference. And so I was just like, wow, okay. So national news again. That's the only good thing, that you can say. I mean, it's unfortunate that we're still talking about it, but at least we're talking about it. At least it's not being swept under the rug and we don't hear about these things months and months later. Oh, well, there was 15 others. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only good thing I can pull from this. We'll see what happens. Like I said, the details are still very murky. We really don't know what happened. We just know the end result. So we'll see what happens, and we'll keep it moving, man. But Freddie Gray in Baltimore, yes, sir.
And it's really important to know what's taking place and what has happened. And like we said, nobody knows what happened inside the police truck or the police van. Now, it could be a possibility that my man had something going on in his life and didn't even know. Oftentimes, we as men, we don't go to doctors often. We just go with the flow of things, and we could have, I could, be having a stroke or something and not even know it, and I'm just pushing it off because I'm a dude trying to be tough. So, that could have played in the fact. He might have had some injuries or some kind of situation at birth where it kind of messed with him growing up and he didn't know. So, it's a lot of possible situations that could be thrown out there. But until, somebody step up and say, all right, player, this is what happened, cuz you'll never know.
And you're not going to know the answer to that either. So that's what's up. Because, once he in the van, you talk about cops. So I'm not saying that it's not possible for one of the cops to step aside and be like, I'm going to tell you the real story of what happens. But
when are we going to start doing what's right?
Yeah.
When are we going to start doing the right thing? Spike Lee wrote a movie about that years ago, Do the Right Thing. Where we at with that? We still set tripping.
And when you say do the right thing, what are you referencing, though?
I'm just saying, when are we're gonna step up and do the right thing when we see somebody doing wrong or we know somebody doing wrong, and am I my brother's keeper?
You mean, so when is the community gonna stop? So to police the community and say, hey man, you don't need to be doing that. You need to find another way. That type of thing.
Yeah, you have the right to say something. You don't. You have your amendment rights.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know. Because you're talking about the mental state of people who oftentimes feel powerless. So in order to get those powerless people to change the way that they operate in their environment, I think that is an even bigger challenge than this idea of trying to that's a generational movement.
Yeah.
It's going to take a generational change in mindset for people to rise above, quote unquote, beginning to really police their own neighborhoods when they themselves are just as, heartbroken or broken or whatever the case may be as the people in the neighborhood who they're trying to police. Does that make sense, Mr. Cray?
It does.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge. And I don't think you can change that with a few years. I think that changes that through a generation. You almost have to have a generational change. You got to train some 5-year-olds and really convince some 5-year-olds from the time they're 5 to the time they're 20 that they are somebody. And then perhaps at that point, when they hit 20 or 25, they can come back to the community potentially and then usher some change in. But it's kind of hard to, 40-year-old people, 50-year-old people, 60-year-old people, 30-year-old people for that matter, they don't change very easily.
Yeah.
They don't change very easily at all. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting to see what happens. I'm gonna talk about another story I saw, Miss McCrae.
What up?
This is one that involves some high school girls. I don't know if you saw this, Miss McCrae. There were some high school girls, 2 white girls, Miss McCrae, who recorded a song about lynching black boys because they were looking at them. And so in the song, they talked about the idea that they're from Texas. And there's, they're white girls. They were cute little white girls, I guess. And so they were just commenting, I guess they call themselves being funny. They recorded a quote-unquote rap song about how the black boys were looking at them and how they were going to lynch them because they kept looking at them and they didn't want the black boys looking at them and this, that, and the other. And then they also went on to talk about Hispanic boys and Asian boys as well. And it was just like, really?
Who are these kids and who are their
What
parents?
are they thinking? What are they thinking, man? But let me take a small break and we'll be right back. All right, so we want to welcome you back to the show, Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. The story that we just brought up, there was a story out of Texas, 2 high school girls. I guess they thought they were being funny, but they recorded a song about how they wanted to lynch little black boys that were looking at them, and then they went on to talk about how they, about Asians and Spanish boys as well.
Say what?
Right. Exactly.
Like I said, there's these girls, little high school girls, wrote a rap song, quote unquote, that they were talking about how they wanted to lynch little black boys for looking at them. And they included Asian boys as well, and Hispanic boys as well for basically looking at them. They didn't appreciate that, so they wanted to, quote unquote, lynch them. And in the word, of course, in the song, they use a bunch of N-words and all this kind of stuff as well. And so they thought, I guess at the time, they thought it was funny. What happened to them, of course, is the world of social media, right? So the song that they recorded hit social media, and then, of course, they went into apology mode, as expected, and how they didn't know the power of social media, and, they never really felt like that. At home, their parents don't talk like that, and blah, 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 blah. They only did it because, about the influences they have from the world, this, that, and the other. But really? Really? What? The song was recorded, they say, in 2013. We're talking about it in 2015, so it was a couple years ago. So, Twitter didn't just hit 2 years ago.
No.
Right.
No, it did.
Twitter was hitting a long time before 2 years ago, but this is what they did.
Because what when you started saying that story, the first person that popped up in my head, Emmett Till. That was the first person that just popped up in my head because of the way you're being looked at. I ain't even whistle at you. I ain't even said nothing to you just because of the way
just because you're looking at
you
me.
being looked at.
Yep.
And you go in talking about, okay, well, it's time to take you out, trying to lynch you. No, player. I'm sorry. See, what's wrong with the world?
That's what I was saying. What is wrong? Because we talk about all the time how we're seeing changes with the youth, right? I think about my boys. Oh man, I've talked to my boys about this idea that you want to be careful out there. I understand that everybody seems like they're your friend and everything's great and we're all happy and it doesn't matter. You want to date white girls, you want to date Hispanic girls, Asian girls, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Everybody's all love now. We're not on that whole race thing. But yet it seems like every couple of weeks we get a story about some young people. We're talking about people 20 and younger.
Yeah.
Saying some really racist stuff. And then coming back and be, I didn't mean it, and my family doesn't talk like that. So how far are we really, if it's not even coming from, the 40 or the 50-year-old anymore? I mean, we're hearing it from the 20-year-olds that are in college. These are 2 high school girls that are in high school. I'm sure they're smiling in their face.
Got to.
And what's so interesting about that, you said they did a rap. So they're appropriating the culture of the people that they don't even like.
That they want to quote unquote lynch
black folks, but you rapping using our art, what we started, that y'all are now taking.
Right. Yeah. See, that's the kind of shenanigans I'm talking about, and I have to call it what it is. Because we go around and we try to have unity amongst us. We try to have unity amongst all diversities, and we are in America, land of the free, home of the brave. But yet and still, we still have underlying issues that we don't even associate with or we don't even talk about. Which it's almost as if in the hood, in the black community, where we talking about abortion, and you don't really hear anybody talking about abortion, even though people do it. You don't hear anybody talking about it. So we got a race issue, and nobody has never came out to say anything to not even, you don't even have to apologize, but let's talk about it.
Right.
If we talk about it, it might just kind of fade out. Don't wait on everybody to die out for it to fade out, because it probably won't die out when all your seasoned people who had issues from back in the day die out, because they talk about it to their kids and to their kids and to their kids. You understand what I'm saying? So if we never talk about it, if we never sit down and really interact with each other about the issue, it's going to forever continue, I believe, in my opinion, that it's going to stay like this.
Yeah. And one of the things I think that sort of helps to perpetuate some of these things, though, is I think it's partly our fault, because as adults, we typically don't intermingle with people who aren't like us. So by definition, it's not so much that we're being racist, but
it's just saying, I don't trust you.
But it also doesn't convey a message of unity when all you see, as a child, if you're growing up and all you see mommy and daddy hang out with are other black people, white people, whatever you are, and you never see them, really discuss or talk to anybody outside of the race, then what does that say to you, even though you haven't said anything? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it make a whole
407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680. Yeah, so I think that's a bigger part of the problem, and let's say I think it's a piece to the puzzle. Let's say that
it's a piece of the puzzle.
It's a piece to the puzzle because I think we have to change that. I think that's a big part of the change, because when we go to work, we talk to each other. You know, because
But
on most jobs you have a
because
white coworker that's
it's
a pretty
only-
decent friend.
It's only work related.
But it's only work related. You never invite that friend typically back to the crib.
Because I'm a part of that situation because some of the things that we do at work, and I see what you do at work. Okay, I'm not doing that. You know, hey Chris, hey guy, let's go and take a few bottles to the head while we at work. Player, no, we at work. You don't do that. And they go out and they come back and they trying to be sober and they not. It's just like me using the street lingo at work. And then I say, hey, cuz, why don't you come on over to the spot and hang out with me at the spot, G, and we'll, go ahead and handle that. And they look at you, huh?
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So, sometimes you uncomfortable, but you have to just tolerate everything while you at work.
Right.
Because once you leave work, it's okay, I left you at work.
Right.
I just left you there. I ain't bringing you over here.
Right.
But what happened when you step outside? When you okay, well, let's go meet up downtown somewhere.
Right.
And let's go hang out. Let's go buy some popcorn or take a shots of whatever you want to drink that I ain't used to drinking. It
Right.
might be good.
And I mean, it's on both parts. Absolutely. We have to do more, and they have to do more. I think we do have more of a mixture of people, of friendships than we like to think. And the ones who aren't the staunch racists and just bigots and just a mess, there are good people, period.
Mm-hmm.
I think those good people need to speak louder than the hate, because it seems like the ones with the hate have the loudest voice.
And they do.
And they cause the most, and it's like, but you're one person that can cause so much ruckus
And it
when
speaks
all
for
the
many.
good people, right. And so the good people who really don't care about that hatred, we need to speak up more and louder about coming together and understanding that.
Because there's some things that you do, I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my scenario that I use all the time, looking at color.
Yeah.
Because when you look at color, then that's when you have a lot of issues. But how about let's look at blood? Because when I cut myself and you cut yourself,
Bleeds red.
it's still the same color in blood.
That's it.
So let's stop looking at the color and just become unified as one.
That's it.
Definitely.
Because it took me a long time, and I've told my story on several occasions. I had a scholarship to Iowa State, but I didn't take it because I was scared, because where I was from. Everybody I knew looked and act and did everything I did. This was a wild weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how uncomfortable I was.
Iowa State in that country too, bro.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know they wild.
So
Ain't nothing wild in a country boy.
so when I finally
Especially
met,
a white country
I
boy.
I saw a nice young African American lady, and I went and approached her. I said, "Yo, what's up, baby girl? How you doing?" "Excuse me, my name is not Baby. You will not direct your comments to me." I said, "Oh, okay." I was done. That scared me because I wasn't accustomed to that. Now, I ain't got no problem. I go back to Iowa and hang out. But see, we until you know who people are and get to know people, you quit judging a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
Because when most people see me, oh man, that's a big brother over there, man. I ain't gonna say nothing to him. He look like he can slap something.
He
And-
probably can, but that's besides the point.
And even with that, was that young lady African American or black?
Yeah, I guess at that time, to me, no, she wasn't. But the look, she had the look.
She looked black.
She looked black.
See, that's the thing that I learned when I was at an HBCU at FAMU. I realized that we may all look alike, but black folks are not all alike.
At all.
Nah.
And when they continue to try to lump us and group us together as if we are. Now, there are some things culturally that we are familiar with, or we can agree upon certain things, but for the most, we are different people. And I didn't really grasp that until I got to FAM.
Really?
Because it was like, okay, we have all these colors, these beautiful black people, but different, just a range of different. You had the richest of rich who had trust funds. You had the poorest of poor from the muck. You had, just everything in between. And it's like these different experiences, but we all look the same, but we are not the same.
I agree. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because some of those that I met at my school, I was like, dude, where you from?
Yeah.
What
You got to
rock-
remember, man, we're from all parts of the country, so.
What rock you crawl from up under, man? 'Cause
Hey.
some of the things, this joker, listen, I'm sorry.
He took you by surprise. Go ahead, man. What's the story?
This joker here came from D.C. And understandable, D.C. and Virginia, that's a whole nother swag up there
Yeah.
if you do not know. But this joker, as a freshman, we get these little packages or whatever. Men, they get the little shaving cream and all this stuff. So this joker going around the dorm asking everybody if they still had the little package so he could take the shaving cream. This joker took the shaving cream, a freshman, and he running down the hallways and just spraying the shaving cream until one of the doors opened and the ding popped out. And the ding got a face full of shaving cream.
Shut up.
It was hilarious. I'm sitting there watching the whole thing and like, ooh, bro, you in trouble. He thought, it was just funny.
He thought he was going home that week, huh?
No, he didn't go home, but he had the opportunity. He could have, but it was hilarious. So everybody is different because I wouldn't have done it. What was the purpose of wasting shaving cream on the wall?
Wow.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
But it was exciting though. I had a great time.
I got one last racism related story tonight. This one actually is from the home state here. I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but did you hear about the college students who were on a tour up in and the bus went down near Live Oak, Florida?
I heard bits and pieces about it.
Heard this one?
I didn't hear the whole story.
And so the students, they were on a college tour, a group of black students. So the bus broke down somewhere near Live Oak in Florida here, and checked hotel. The hotel that the bus company decided to pay for was more economical for them. I'm gonna call them out. It was the Econo Lodge in Live Oak, and when the students went in, it was no secret immediately that the hotel staff at this Econo Lodge really didn't appreciate the fact that all these black students, these black people, were getting ready to check into their hotel.
Live Oak, Florida.
Live Oak, Florida.
That's like right outside of Tallahassee, or like right at the borderline between Georgia and Florida, somewhere like that.
No, probably in between Gainesville to Tally.
Yeah.
It's more in that area.
Okay,
Right.
say no more.
You're
All
still
right.
on 75.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Into 10. Yeah,
Right.
you're into 10.
When I tweeted about this story, I talked about that. Any black boy in Florida knows you stay out of them
Keep
little
going.
towns.
You keep
And
going.
in Florida. Not that all of them are bad. I don't want to paint every town in Florida, little town in Florida, as being racist. But when it comes to taking chances on something,
You might
that's not the
wanna-
place that I take a chance on.
You
But in
stop
their
in
case,
Gainesville at a rest stop. Do not pull off.
I don't even like going to the gas stations in little towns.
Yeah, no.
I agree.
You fill up in Gainesville.
I agree with
I didn't
you.
go to the gas station.
Yeah.
Let alone,
I gotta be.
And I,
in
ain't
a
even gotta,
populated
I don't
city.
even have to interact to go to the gas station. I can do that at the pump, but I even refuse to go to the gas station. But anyway, they didn't have a choice. I mean, the bus company was putting them up in a hotel. This was what was more affordable to the company. Obviously, they had no idea that when they went into this hotel, it was going to be a negative situation for them. But that's what it turned out to be. They said the moment they got into the hotel, it was immediately known from the front desk person that they didn't appreciate all them black people coming up and staying in the hotel, to the point where they were they say they were warned by the hotel staff that if anything wasn't, I guess if anything went wrong or if anything appeared wrong, they would not hesitate to call the cops. And so in the story, one of the advisors actually just did call the cops. They were feeling that vibe, they some adult advisor that was with them, they felt it. They realized what the situation was, and so they actually called the cops themselves. And they say when the police officer showed up, the police officer acknowledged, yeah, they don't really
You
don't like your
might
kind
want to
around
pack
here.
up.
You want to be, he didn't, nobody got arrested or anything like that. Because actually, like I said, the group called the cops themselves because they were feeling,
Some kind of way.
And, but the cops showed up and basically confirmed everything they was feeling. Yeah, you got to be careful around here. They don't really like your kind around here. Wow. That's what the cops told them.
5-0 said this.
5-0 told
The
you that.
protectors.
So you already know. They said they even went to the point the hotel staff was stressing to them the importance that they get out by checkout time, You know, and if they didn't get out by checkout time, there might be some issues. You know, the way that they described their situation, it sounded bad, man.
These kids are on a college.
These are kids.
Tour.
These are kids
College tour.
on a college tour,
Trying to go to school somewhere.
trying to go to school.
Figure out where they want to go. Really?
That just knocked Florida out their vocabulary.
Well, certainly not anywhere in the Gainesville area.
Pretty
Their
much.
vocabulary, for
Are
sure.
Are you serious?
For
Really?
sure.
Yeah.
The Econo Lodge in Live Oak, Florida. You don't need to go there, people.
No.
Not live, okay, but so big.
No.
It ain't big.
I-
There couldn't
I'm-
have been that many hotels.
Yeah, it's. I
probably
think it's
was
only
it.
one. That's the only hotel in the area. I think.
Don't do it.
I've only been up there maybe once or twice. I had a friend of mine who passed away, and she's from Live Oak, and she used to always say, and I understand why she moved to Daytona Beach. When I went there, Daytona Beach is a city compared to that. Daytona Beach is more populated compared to Live Oak.
Definitely.
So wow, like I said, times hasn't changed. But what the staff old school?
Probably.
I don't know. I mean, there was no staff in any of the pictures or anything like that. But
I would guess. I would have a strong guess. Before we finish, how did you hear about the story of Ben Affleck?
An apology
Yes.
of his ancestors.
Well, not the apology.
But initially having them take out that part of his
because he didn't want anybody to know his ancestors owned slaves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which to me, I don't even see the big deal about that. But that goes back to that white liberalism. They just hate for you to know that somebody in their family actually did something like that. Like, really? I expect somebody in your family to have done something like that.
And I expect he's from Boston. So I'm thinking that when he was young, just like Marky Mark, that's what they grew up around. And I'm sure he's evolved once he got exposed to different things. But yeah. I'm not surprised. Ben Affleck.
But
Bless his heart for trying to hide it, and now it's all out there.
But that's one of them things. Like, okay, well, you shouldn't really have to really come out because, like I said, we try it to be because it's our history, but we don't dwell on it. We just kind of tap it, okay, blah blah blah, and then we keep on moving because like we said, times have changed. But at the same time, when you present it to me, okay, all right, dude, that was your peeps back in the day. What kind of person are you?
Right.
Let me know who you are. Because if you're going to be a hater, then I know I need to step back and step off. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be the kind of guy that just, hey, my people did whatever, I apologize to you. Let's go grab a couple of iced teas or something, let's go hang out.
And from what I gather from Ben Affleck, he is that guy. He has evolved into a person who is welcoming from the image that he gives off, at least. Who knows what he does in this house. But I believe that he's a genuine when it comes to his friendships and the people that he has in his life. I just thought it was interesting. It was like, oh.
Yeah, but I don't like people like that, though,
like
who
what?
are afraid to embrace what their history is. It is what it is.
It's your history.
Yeah.
It's like it's your history,
Those
man.
are your ancestors.
Are your people from America? Yes. Well, then you know what? They probably own some slaves.
Pretty much. that was the way of the land.
It is what it is,
That
man.
was work. That
Like,
was how
what
they
are
had
you-
income.
Why are you hiding from it? Like, oh, not my family. My family would never think of doing anything like that. No, it was your family too.
Yeah.
It was your family too.
forgot
And if they
who-
didn't own any slave, they definitely called somebody a Negro.
Pretty much.
They called us out now.
Pretty
You
much.
know, come on, man.
I can't think of the black person who found out that their black family owned slaves. I can't remember the celebrity.
I see the face.
Was it Cheadle?
No.
But you remember that one?
I remember that story. It was a while back. I heard about
Yeah.
the story. I
can't
see his face.
I can't think of who it was, but he was like, "Wait, really?"
But yeah, because he was shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was shocked. But it
He
happened.
put it out there. That was the way.
It happens.
That was it. That was the industry. That was it.
And this is my thing. We're not knocking you for it at all. Who are you now? That's the question.
Yeah.
In the same way, thank you, Lord. In the same way, they hated on Jesus. It run the same category. They hated on him. All right, well, I expect you to kind of hate on me now because I'm a follower.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, man. But yeah, I didn't like that story. I thought he was a little shady for trying to hide that.
Now here's the real question:
Embarrassed.
Is it gonna mess up his following?
No.
Nah, of course not.
No. Is he Batman or Superman?
He's Batman.
This Batman movie about to come out. He's good. Ben Affleck he's fine.
Because that's the question.
He's all right.
With him bringing out this, will it mess up his following amongst a lot of the African Americans?
It shouldn't.
Nah.
We say it shouldn't, but all of us are different.
That's true.
All of us.
But if that's the case, you're gonna hate everybody in Hollywood because if, like you said, if they're from the United States, odds are down the line.
Keep going. Keep researching.
They own some slaves.
Right. Exactly. Or they definitely, like I said, or they definitely had some racist ancestors.
Absolutely.
They may not have been rich enough to own any slaves, but they were alive to call a few some Negroes.
Pretty much. That was the mindset.
So either way, I mean, but like I said, if you were in America, that's what we did. This is what we did in this country.
It's
so,
like, oh, Ben.
Get over yourself.
Oh, Ben.
I tell you, them liberals, man.
Oh, Ben. He'll be all right.
Ben.
He'll be all right.
Liberals.
He's
them
okay.
liberals, I tell you, Miss McCray.
Don't do that. Don't.
Them Democrats.
Don't do that.
That's
the sane people.
That's what you, Miss
That's
McCray.
what you mean? We're sane.
Now, I think we're winding down here, but this last thing I want to talk about, a few months, about a month ago, I guess, at this point, Creflo Dollar put it out to his followers that he wanted to raise money so that he can get his $65 million jet.
Okay.
Well,
my man Creflo.
Creflo has addressed everybody that has something negative to say about what he asked of his followers. They were his followers after all, right? He didn't ask you.
Right, his following.
He asked the people that believe in his dream. I just want to read his quote. I just thought this quote. They say this past Sunday there was a piece of his sermon where he at least addressed this all of the naysayers out there that were talking about him as a result of it. Do I have some time here, Chris?
Yeah, come on.
Basically said, I can dream as long as I want to. I can believe God as long as I want to. If I want to believe God for a $65 million plane, you cannot stop me. He says, you cannot stop me from dreaming. You can't stop me from dreaming. I'm going to dream until Jesus comes. Then he goes on to say, he says, if you think 65 million plane was too much, if they discover there's life on Mars, they're going to need to hear the gospel. And I'm going to have to believe God for $1 billion space shuttle because we got to preach the gospel on Mars. He says, I dare you to tell me I can't dream. I dare you to tell me I can't believe God. So that's what's up, Chris, Miss McCray. He's dreaming. He said, God said it.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
There it is. That's the truth, Chris Shaw, Mr. Creflo. Creflo say when it's time to go to Mars, he gonna need to believe God for $1 billion plane, space shuttle, $1 billion space shuttle. Too.
He said a space shuttle.
A space shuttle.
He said a space shuttle.
He gonna go to Mars and preach the gospel.
Miss McCray.
What?
The man is committed.
Shuttle,
he said he
McCray.
committed, Miss McCray.
What I said earlier, that's when I would gather my belongings, put my one finger up, and walk out.
He can't believe God for a space shuttle, Miss McCray.
You ain't even going to the bathroom.
No.
What is wrong with a
I'm
space
walking
shuttle
out.
to Mars, Mr.
And
McCray?
I'm leaving that church.
The man can't preach the gospel on Mars.
Wah, 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 in Jesus' name, wah, wah. That is hilarious.
That is, man.
Sir.
I'm sorry, that's funny. But
that's hilarious to me.
That
is hilarious. That man said he gonna believe God for $1 billion space shuttle to go preach the gospel on Mars.
You keep on believing.
No, he didn't.
that is funny.
And you build your congregation of Martians up there.
Right.
Because the Martians need to know Jesus
Wear
too.
gas masks. They do. They do. Spacesuits and stuff. He have a pimped out pinstripe spacesuit.
Right. Bling,
with
bling,
gators.
with the big cross in the front.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you gotta have the gators, Mr. McKay.
Yeah, that's what he'll. That long
He's
coat.
blessed. He's blessed. He's gonna have some gators now.
You know,
is hilarious.
I'm all for people with their dreams and aspirations, but
That was too much for you, Miss McCray.
a little bit, a little bit. He just. It's like shh, just be quiet.
What if he said he was going to take the space shuttle to the moon?
We calmed
preach
it
the gospel on the
down.
moon.
The jet thing kind of breezed over. Nobody was thinking about you, Creflo. You didn't have to say nothing. Let it go.
But this is for all the critics.
That's for the critics.
In his congregation. He's not saying outside the congregation.
Again.
Inside the
If I
in-house.
were a member of that congregation, that's when I would gather my Bible, my fan, put the one finger up, and peace out.
That's $1 million gone right there.
Gone.
Gone.
Gone. God bless you, sir.
That tithe offering is up.
But I am leaving this church. Thank you.
Hey, man, I ain't mad at him, man. Creflo said he going to believe God for $1 billion space shuttle to go to Mars, preach the gospel.
$1 million.
I'm with him.
Did we talk about Mary Mary's I Love God song?
No, I did not talk about that.
No, we didn't. No.
Trap gospel?
Oh, I did not talk about the trap
I bet
gospel.
you Creflo gonna play that song in his church.
Man, that's in the space shuttle.
In the shuttle, right. All the way up. I love God. I love God.
Hey, you played that on the air?
No,
No. Please don't.
You're not gonna play it on the air, Chris? It's Mary Mary, Chris.
No.
Oh, well, no, it's not Mary Mary.
That's
It's
Erica Campbell.
It's Erica Campbell, Chris.
Trap gospel.
She's gospel. She's gospel.
It's
man.
trap gospel.
It's not her though. It's not her.
It's too
It'd be
much.
different if it came from KB Black Knight or somebody. But it's coming from Erica Campbell, and Erica that ain't her swag.
It's too much.
I'm sorry. That's just where I'm standing at with that. That's not her swag. I love God. What about you? I seen a video of some kids in preschool or like third grade or something, and they just going hard at it. I mean, and I ain't mad at it, but
I guess it's getting the word out. It's like, what was the song? Not Go Get It. The other one that was kind of
Dance.
No. Oh, I just lost it.
Shackles.
Nope. It was kind of trappy too. It was one of those songs that when it would come on, I'd start bopping my head. The next thing I know, I'm like getting it. I'm like, wait, this is gospel.
Well, you can get it. The gospel music.
Not twerking. I should not feel like I need to twerk to a gospel song.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
And that's what I felt. And so this love guy, like her whole movement and everything, it's like the club moves.
But see,
You can't do the club moves in the church
too,
house.
But then too, I'm not mad at it because it's not meant for everybody to hear.
Right.
For those that are in the club scene, and when they go off in the club, then
You think they're gonna play it in the club?
if they play
It's a
the
possibility.
shackles off my feet so I can dance, so I can praise you in the club, they'll play anything in the club.
What club? You in?
I used to be a bouncer, and when it was time to go, they'll pop it on.
Oh.
They'll pop it on.
To tell people to go home.
And people not knowing, people still on cloud 75.
Don't forget now.
They
you know,
still
Kirk
juking.
Franklin was hot in the club.
Yes,
What
yes, sir.
clubs have y'all been in?
Yes,
where they
ma'am.
played it?
Oh,
The only
I
song.
heard a Kirk Franklin song in the middle of the night at the club.
Come on.
Shut up.
Yes, ma'am.
The only club I've been to, they played Jesus Walks, and when they would play that, I would even feel some type of way about that with my drink in my
What was it?
hand.
Stomp, that's what it was. When that Stomp song had came out, they played it.
They played
Stomp at 12.
They stomped
at
the
midnight.
They stomped the stomps off of that.
They played Stomp at midnight.
What was that song?
Hard, and everybody be in the club. Stomp.
In the club moving. Right. All my people say stop. Everybody say stop. You see hands going up and everybody stomping.
Yeah, for sure,
So, you know,
So I would be surprised if this becomes like a hit or whatever. I would be very surprised if they did not play it
It's too much.
in the club.
I love LUH.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not a bad song, but it's just not her.
Right.
If it came from somebody else, if it came from Ray J, I can understand it.
Okay.
If it came from Waka Flocka running for president, I can understand it. But not Erica Campbell.
God in Me. That's it.
The God in Me.
The God in Me.
And
It's
how
the
it's like,
God
I'm
in
so
me.
precious. It's
Yeah.
the God in me. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. This is gospel. Do not go down to the ground.
You
and come
can
back
get
up.
down. You can get down with some good gospel music now.
You can.
Because, like I said, it's meant to target
Right.
the demographic.
Target the
so
demographic.
she's targeting her demographic, and it's a marketing strategy. Like I said, I can't be mad at it. It's just by us knowing Mary, by us knowing who Erica Campbell is.
We're a little taken back by it.
Yeah, it's just kind of blow you away.
Take me back to Can't Give Up Now when they first came out.
See, See?
Come too far from where I've started from.
See, that's the Jew. You still looking for the old Mary.
Nobody told
See,
me
they moved on, Pete,
That the
beyond
road-
the
that.
road would be easy, but I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. Where is that, Erica? And what's the other sister name? Tina. Ladies.
You know,
if this came from Tina Campbell, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
right.
I could see
I
it.
could see Tina doing that.
I could see it. I
that's
still
her
wouldn't like
personality.
it, but I could see
She
it.
just come across like she'll fight you. if she
Yeah,
had to.
real quick. Didn't she shoot up her husband's car?
See what I'm
I
saying?
don't know. Just trying to
See what I'm
buzz the
saying?
car. I know her and her husband had
Yeah.
some issues because he cheated on her and they had to work through their issues. But I don't know if she went so far as to shoot up his car as a result of that.
I hadn't seen the show this season, but the preview was a car that was shot up with bullets.
You know,
That's all I'm
waiting
saying.
to exhale in 2015.
Right.
It ain't blowing up.
She didn't blow it up.
It's being shot up.
She just shot it up.
But like you say, everybody is different. Everybody have a different walk of life. And somebody asked me this question a while back and said, well, what would you do? Ain't no telling. I'm going to try to do the right thing at all possible costs. But sometime in my spirit, look, man, you need to leave. Because I feel it coming, and when it's coming, once grace and mercy start moving, there's no grace and mercy stopping, and that's what I call these boys. This is grace and this is mercy, and it's just the way it go. And I ain't been
Since
saved
they
all
can't
my
see
life.
you on radio, you talking about
No.
his left and right fists. People.
Oh, thank you, because I got caught up for a minute.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I tell you quick, I'm going to the trunk to get my holy oil out the car, and I'm gonna anoint these hands.
There you go. Grace and mercy will have to
And
take
grace
care
and
of it.
mercy will take care of the rest. But like you said, everybody different though. Everybody, you got pastors walking around with a piece with fire on them.
There's a lot of pastors walking
what's
around
the
with pieces and
difference?
fire on. So, hey,
And-
but
and
you
they
live in
love
Florida.
God. And they love God.
They do love God.
Little guy.
They do love God.
What's wrong with you?
Sometimes God alone can't get you out of every situation.
Right. that's what they standing at.
He'll make sure you get through, but sometimes you want to just have some extra protection.
I love God.
Just in case. Some of these fools crazy. Is that right, Chris?
Very,
Some of
very.
these fools crazy, man.
And the space shuttle.
And the space shuttle.
That's where
Leading out of
everybody.
the shuttle.
That's where everybody going on the space shuttle.
You know they are, man. You know they are. But you know that they're already planning missions to Mars. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know they have. There has been a call out for people to volunteer to go on a trip to Mars. There's a company sponsoring a trip to Mars, and they're seeking people who will volunteer to go. And it's like basically almost like a competition is what it's turning into. And so they're going to pick, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 people to basically go on a blank trip to Mars. They're not promising you're going to ever return home.
Okay.
They're not even promising the idea that you're going to actually make it there. But you're asking people to volunteer to go on this unknown mission to Mars. And then assuming you make it, then they're not promising how long you'll even survive, assuming you make it to Mars. But if you do make it, they're hoping you can begin to try and establish a colony there to send back information to let us know what it would be like if we tried to go there ourselves.
And they're going to be just ready.
People are lining up. I'm sure they have over 1 million submissions of people who are willing to, throw their, quote unquote, throw their life away to have this opportunity. They say the trip, I think, is about 6 to 8 months just to go from Earth to Mars. And then that's assuming you wake up from the trip, because I think they're going to sedate you along the way. But you'll get there, and then you'll survive on Mars with no promise ever to return. They're not promising return trips at all here, Chris. You just go and send us back some information about what you experience when you get there.
What if your family
Assuming you're
member
alive.
came and told you they were going to sign up for that?
Which brings us back to our point that we initially said, that all people are different.
Child.
Everybody.
Would you volunteer, Chris, to
It's
go on that
different.
trip, Chris?
God created me for another
Another
assignment.
purpose.
That's not your ministry.
That ain't my right.
That's not your ministry.
Outer space
That's
is
not
not
your
my ministry. That's that outer space ministry. That's new in the church.
Right
A
here
lot of
on
people
Earth.
don't know about it. So, God bless you to those that go with Creflo dollars, to go do what you do. So hey, my mission is right here on earth. I'm gonna sing. Hallelujah.
There you go, brother. There you go, man. We want to thank y'all for listening to the show tonight. We want to thank Chris, thank Miss McCrae for joining me. We had a good time tonight. Make sure you tune in next week at 9 p.m. Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. This is WOKB 1680 AM, your urban empowerment and inspiration station.
I just can't give up now.
Thank you for listening to Real Family Talk. This is one of your co-hosts, Jeremy, a.k.a. Younger Brother. Tune in next week from 9 to 10 p.m. and every Wednesday from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOKB 1680, your urban empowerment and inspiration station. See you.
My brother, my